Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
I was thinking about putting this mirror in the middle.
What kind of mirror?
Right up in here. It's really heavy and it's got lights on it.
It's got lights on it.
It's got lights. Yeah, and it's pretty heavy. But I wanted it right there.
Yeah, but you got, we already had everything placed to put this in. So you want a lighted mirror instead now?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I really would like to have a lighted mirror. I found these after I bought the fixture.
All right. Well, if Mom wants it, let's show her how to do it. We'll have to move this wire and get this lighted mirror working here. Okay, so this is actually a pretty simple mirror. And you know, if you're a contractor, you'll understand how this ends up being is that, you know, you think you have a plan and then it changes right on the spot. So I'm going to show you a couple tips to be able to get out of this project really quickly. And that really has to do with just using some 5-minute mud and getting it done. But this mirror system is actually really simple. It just has 2 little areas that you hang it, just like a picture frame basically. And then you just hardwire it to that switch loop that we had in the ceiling. So instead of a light fixture, it's just going to connect directly to the mirror. So the first thing I want to do is just figure out what the distance is from the bottom. So this would just be like hanging a mirror or hanging a picture frame. So just find what the dimension is. So 30.5. And most of the time for mirrors, I go 12 inches above the vanity. Now, really, that's all personal preference. The height of this is really going to be personal preference, but 12 inches is typically the height that I want to do it. So I'm going to have to move that wire down, you know, about 10, 12 inches down to the center of this. So that'll work right there. So 30.5 plus 12 is 42.5. So let's just get our laser at 42.5. That'll work there. And then we want to measure our center is 18 inches. 18 inches. And then we have to figure out what our dimension between the screw holes is. And that's 17 1/8. The center, so 17 1/8. So 8 5/8. 17 3/16. So we need to get screws here and here. Okay, so anytime you have a braided line like this, you need to have it extend past the copper line. So what I mean by that is making the braided line off the light fixture and let it extend past that copper wire so that when you use the wire nut, it actually twists the braided line around that copper to make a good connection. Okay, so having some easy sand 5-minute mud. Really helpful to always have this on hand for little repairs like this. because there's nothing worse than trying to come back the next day and have to do this. So always have a little bit of this on hand so you can make small repairs and get things done. Okay, I think you'd be better off to have a little bit too much than not enough, so then you can sand it down. So try to, if you're trying to get this done in one day, just leave a little bit of extra on there so we can sand it. Okay, so to sand this, you can just use a wet sponge and then sand that down. You don't have to get into actually using a real sand sponge there. Let that dry and then we can go ahead and paint that.